Now, well, let's quickly move on to the stocks to watch this morning. And QIPs usually tend to confuse most of us. We don't know what direction they move in, but nevertheless, Bharat Forge is one to track. The demand for this QIP has been healthy. Now, how the stock reacts is one to watch because it was up 2% yesterday. And of course, the company has announced that they're looking to raise 1,650 crores at a floor price of 1,323. That is at a 5%, nearly 5% discount to yesterday's close. The funds will be used to repay debt, which is a positive, and of course to fund the recent acquisition that they announced of commercial truck axles. In my opinion, may get a flat start and actually move up because the overhang will be behind them. The fund utilization will be towards repaying debt and, of course, funding an acquisition that was already in the know. So there was an indication that they would look to raise money and they're coming in through a QIP. I think Neeraj is nodding at me. I'm assuming you've got something to add on this.
The only thing to add to this, the North American Class 8 truck sales numbers are just out, right?
Yeah.
And they are at 11-month highs. So that's
a thumbs up on Bharat Forge this morning.
Yeah, the QIP, if it's got the demand that you're talking about and this number, all of that could actually aid.
Should be a positive. And I think, so yes, I think Bharat Forge is a positive. Maybe flat. Let's not forget that the start may be quiet, but as the day goes along, this could make a good trading opportunity. Well, the other one that was very interesting and has been in the works now for so many months has been Vodafone and Indus. I'm giving a thumbs up to both those counters. Vodafone is looking to sell its last chunk of stake it owns in Indus Towers, which is 3%. The proceeds from Indus stake sale will be used to repay Vodafone Idea's borrowings. Now, this sale, of course, completes Vodafone's phased divestment in Indus Towers, which began all the way back in June 2024 when they sold 18% stake in Indus Towers for 15,300 crores, reducing its holding to 3%. Remember, Bharti Airtel has increased its stake in Indus Towers to 48.95% during that sale by Vodafone. Earlier in 2022, Vodafone has offloaded 7.1% stake in Indus Towers. Now, Indus Towers stock price actually closed in positive territory yesterday at 359 rupees. This came in ahead of Vodafone's announcement last evening. The stock has been a strong performer. It's up 92% in the last 1 year, now bringing its current market cap to 94,000 crores. So you keep all that in mind and you know that this is a positive, not just for Vodafone as they will raise this money, close out the stake they own in Indus, but also a positive on Indus Towers. CLSA puts out a watch report with an expected indication of an increase in target price by 35% on Indus. So a couple of reasons both those counters should do well in trade this morning. This is a smaller one and it's a newer one actually, Bondada Engineering. They won an order and these counters, like we've said, usually react to order wins, are ordered to the tune of 109 crores from Bihar Renewable Energy. So watch out for the counter. It didn't do well in trade yesterday, but maybe with this order win, you could potentially see an uptick on the stock, Tamana.
Okay, so Bondada in focus, order wins and this entire space also in focus. I'm starting with transformers and rectifiers. They will be acquiring a controlling stake in POSCO Poginamp Electric Steel. The size of the agreement is under consideration and it has not been revealed yet. The acquisition is expected to be completed within 7 days of execution. So the company they're acquiring is in manufacturing and processing of CRGO, lamination essential material. This is used in the cores of transformers and it contributes, this is the important bit, the company they're acquiring makes a component which contributes to 33% of raw material cost in transformers. So that's cold rolled grain oriented. So this is why I would say this is a thumbs up. The company that they acquire will become fully integrated to process these requirements and could aid in up to 100 basis points to 150 basis points in margin expansion. So which is why I would say this is one stock that you can keep on your radar for today. Muthoot Microfinance is the other one. It's not great news. They've announced a third interest rate cut reduction this year. Lending rates will reduce by 25 basis points for income generating loans to 23.05%. Rates reduced by 125 basis points for third-party product loans to 22.7%. Could have an impact on yields. Growth has also been tough, and I think regulatory concerns are going to be something on the horizon you have to watch out for the entire space of microfinance. We're already talking about the quality of debt in this space. Brigade Enterprises is the other one that I'm talking about, and We'll actually play out in just a bit the conversation we had with the management, and my colleague Haripriya caught up with them in Bengaluru. The group is seeing a slow progress towards achieving their target of a gross development value of 10,000 to 11,000 crore rupees. This is simply because approvals are getting delayed, and this is a statement made by them in an exclusive interview to NDTV Profit, which we will run in just a bit. Meanwhile, just a backdrop, the pre-sales growth of 46% in Q2 was driven by commercial spaces. In the first half of the year, the pre-sales growth of 29% was driven by better price realizations. But this at the end of the day with real estate, it's a lot about what the policy environment is in the state they are operating in. And for Karnataka-based companies, this might be an overhang.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 quarters, both Pavitra Shankar and Nirupa Shankar have been talking about slower approvals being a key concern. So, well, watch out for those. I'll stick to a real estate company. It's a small name, Suraj Estate Developers. Gets a thumbs up because they've purchased land in Mumbai for 101 crores with a gross developable value of 525 crores. Remember, this is the company that owns that premium plot of land in Bandstand in Mumbai, which has got a large developable value as well. And now they are doing this. So could be an interesting one to watch out for. I'm choosing Ratnamani Metals and Tubes because the exit is by Nalanda. I mean, Pulak Prasad and team hold stocks for a really long time. So when they get out, it comes to the notice. Even if the buyers are SBI and Tata Mutual Fund, the fact that Nalanda has sold about 7.85 lakh shares, maybe that's why the stock was down yesterday as well. Could be interesting to see if it is down today as well or no. I'll add a PG Electroplast to that list of the fundraisers. So QIP opens today. The floor price is at 705, which is a very sharp downtick to the current market price. Remember, they've done a tie-up with a global auto company to manufacture bikes as well as battery assemblies for the Indian markets. It's a hyper-competitive space, but they have done the tie-up to manufacture it in their facilities. Maybe the fundraising is for that. Could be an interesting one to watch out for. So those are my top 3. Actually, there is a very interesting note by Axis Securities. Maybe I'll come to that after the stocks are done.
Yeah, just 2 more that I quickly want to add is there's another QIP. I don't know whether we mentioned that, but PG Electroplast is highlighted by you, and Torrent Pharmaceuticals. So I think that might also see some movement. Remember, pharma has largely been in focus. They've ended in an agreement to acquire 3 anti-diabetic brands. We don't know the size of this acquisition, but it's expected to be completed by 2025. And remember, Torrent has been marketing these brands since 2022 as part of an existing co-marketing agreement. But now, of course, with this agreement that gets completed in 3 months, this becomes part of their core portfolio. So Torrent Pharmaceuticals could be in focus on back of that. Apart from that, I think everything else is fairly small, but you also had a small sort of microfinance company that reduced its lending rates by 25 bips, and that's Muthoot Microfinance. So this could be ahead of the central bank meet or decision on the rates tomorrow, but Muthoot already going ahead and cutting rates.
I actually spoke about Muthoot, and I mentioned that it's a thumbs down because they're cutting rates.
Could this also be an indication of what's coming tomorrow? I don't know.
But they are struggling. I mean, that whole space is struggling, which is